Next up in the workroom.
More than meets the eye. Hey guys, you finally made it back. I know this isolation and staying away and the COVID-19 and everything like that is kind of getting you down, but don't worry, the Paint Slinger is here and we're going to continue on doing Optimus Prime. So I've actually gone ahead while you guys have been away and finding your way back to me. I know that this is a beautiful way to social distance. You're there and I'm here. You're not necessarily in my workshop, but my workshop is coming to you via the magic, I think. I don't know, magic? Anyway, no, whatever. The magical magic of the internet. So I went ahead and I've actually done some more of Prime while you guys were away. Uh, I did kind of the final stage highlights of Optimus. I did some more of the silver on the legs and the gas tanks. I finished off or mostly finished off the base. I gave it the washes, finished off all the colors. So it's just ready for some quick dry brushing and for the highlights and stuff like that. And she's done. So what we're going to do today is we're going to work on... Oh, and I also kind of started the face. Yeah, did all the silver and more. So now what we're going to work on is we're going to work on doing the blue and the highlighting the blue of the feet, highlighting the blue of the hands, and doing the windows. So we're going to start with the windows right now, and I'm going to take some of my other projects and I'm going to put them aside for now. Okay. And you know what? I really did like the Caledon blue, but the Caledon blue was a little bright. But it'd be perfect for his windows. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Caledon blue, take our medium layer brush, there, medium layer brush, and we're going to put some of that Caledon blue in the windows. There we go. And now, since we've highlighted all the red and we've tried to make it look nice and pretty, we're going to be as careful as we can with the blue to try and not undo what we have done. Oh, how's everybody out there? I hope they're doing okay. I hope they're maybe even following along, maybe painting a prime up of their own. That'd be pretty cool. Okay. I wasn't careful. I got some blue on the red, but that's okay. That's an easy fix where I got it. Thought I was being careful. Apparently I wasn't. But that's okay. Because even if you get paint where you don't want it, you can always go back and fix it up. And we're going to do a simplified kind of glass technique. We could do a gemming if we wanted to, but I don't really see the need to do the gemming. For those of you who don't know, gemming is just a very specific way of painting glass or gem-like items on your miniatures to kind of give them that that glassy and gem look, and that kind of requires a little bit more work. I mean, it can be done, but I don't see a need for that here. What I actually want to do here is kind of the same thing that I did on one of my earlier projects from Galaxy Gaming Gear, and doing their wooden miniatures, which by the way are still cool as hell. Not saying that, you know, the WizKids miniatures, which is these guys right here. These guys are from WizKids. They are pre-primed miniatures. I know I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Pre-primed miniatures are primed with Vallejo paints, or Vallejo primer, so they're kind of a grayish color when they start. But unfortunately, nothing against the WizKid guys. But I don't really like working in a lighter color. I don't like working off of white if I don't have to, white or gray. And the reason is because if I happen to miss a spot while I'm painting, it's super glaringly obvious. Whereas if you work off black, the black, if you miss part of the black, unless you're missing it in a super obvious place, you know, like on the front of the, you know, like on the, I'll just do it this way. You know, if you're missing it on like on the arms or up here, something like that. Usually it's in a nook or a cranny that you'll kind of miss it, and sort of looks like a shadow. So you can get away with not quite getting all the black down, or getting all of your base color down, because the black will just kind of show up. Now, excuse me a second, I'm just going to step out of frame and step back into frame. I do have the Megatron, and this is how they come in their package. You know, pre-primed. It's a very light, very, you know, it's almost white. It's a light gray. I'm not sure how well that shows up, but it's a light gray primer that they do these guys in, and that's cool. That's great. Nothing wrong with that at all. But again, this is not how I like to operate, and that's my personal preference. It doesn't necessarily have to be yours or anybody out there. So I went and I reprimed Prime in black, and to me, it's just super better to work off of. Man, whatever. Oh, I know where my sheets are. Right here. That just means I don't have one down here. I have something that I can use in the intern? Maybe. Let's try that. Will it help focus on prime? You can kind of see that I went and I did the third highlight just on the corners, just to give it a little bit of shape, and the one that I really liked was the one that I did right on the cab, right on the front. Kind of right there. Where's my figure there? Right there, that little. But that was pretty cool. But Prime's coming along. It's looking very Prime-esque, as it were. So now we're going to go back and we're going to do the blue. And I pulled my blue that I want aside. Oh, there he is. So you can kind of see him. Bam! It's right there. Bam! It's Prime! Leader of the Autobots. Kicker of Decepticon butt. Even though my shirt is all Decepticons. Megatron. There we got Sky. We got Starscream or any of the other Seekers. Thundercracker. Whatever. And down here, of course, Sunwave. He was kind of my personal favorite Decepticon. Alright, so yes, we are using McCraig Blue as our initial highlight. And again, we're going to use the medium layer brush because these ones here don't have to be super fine, super detailed. And we don't want it too bright either. Boop. We're going to leave that for the next color. Alright. And then it's literally just, you can clean things up too that you've overpainted. Boom. It's literally just going to be tracing the legs and the feet. They look pretty cool, I think, when he's done. Now on the panel lines on the inside, I'm going to go a little thinner. And I'm going to highlight kind of both sides. I know it's really hard just for you guys to see what I'm doing, and I'm sorry about that. Still working on a way to get an overhead cam for you guys. so you can actually truly see what I'm doing. Wouldn't that be a treat? And basically what I'm doing is I'm just following all the lines as neatly and as best as I can. Hopefully it turns out okay. What's going to be fun, I guess if you want to call it that, is when we get to the hands. No, I'm kidding. Those are going to be great. And since he's kind of got big rounded edges, some of the highlights are a little bit thicker than maybe what I would have liked, but it's Prime. Kind of does his own thing. It's starting to look cool though. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but we'll try our best. Some of these are good enough sharp edges that you can literally just run the paintbrush at an angle down the side. That's great. Some of them you can't. That's alright. Do what you can. Like I said, these highlights are going to be a little bit thicker. They're still a little thicker than I would like, but that's okay. They're looking good. There we go. Alright. Oh, forgot. Or almost forgot. He's got blue coming up the back of his butt. Not that robots really have butts, but they're posteriors, I guess. They're backsides. So that gets some highlight too, and I think he's got a little bit of blue. Choo, choo. In the front. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to the I'm going to go to my thinner brush, my small layer brush, to do the head. Because, well, I need a little bit control, a little bit better control, and the head is a lot smaller and finer than the legs. But we can't forget that we must, you know, do the head. Excuse me. And here we'll have to have a little bit more control and a little bit finer lines. Because again, the detail is smaller. Cool. You know what I forgot to do? It's going to be tricky doing it, but it'll look cool. Forgot to do his eyes. So we'll have to go back and do his eyes. And we're going to use kind of the same color as we used for the windows to start anyway. And I got just the brush for that. It's kind of broken with using just Citadel brushes. I've actually found a couple of Army Painter brushes that I really like. So, yay for kind of stumbling on that. That was a hardcore Citadel boy all the way. But now, after using these brushes from Army Painter, I give props. Okay. So again, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see the highlight. Again, we're going to use the fancy cardboard. It's gold on one side, gold. Let's just put cardboard on the other side, but it seems to help the camera focus. So hopefully you can kind of see where, you can kind of see it at least on the leg right here. A little bit harder to see it on the face, but you can kind of see it. You can see the outlines that I've done. You'll probably be able to see it at least on the back. Man, I wish my cameras would focus better. But anyway, you saw what I was doing. You can kind of see what I did. So, yeah. Now we're going to find a slightly lighter blue. Well, actually, we might go back to the Cantor blue because the Cantor blue is nice. The keg blue is nice. So we're going to go to, sorry, not Cantor, Calidor Sky. Right there. Now, where is the... There you are. So I'm using the Army Painter. Oh, see, I think the camera is biased. Doesn't want to focus for me. Anyway, it's the, there it is. Army Painter Super Detail Brush. Freaking love this thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love all my Citadel brushes too. I haven't forgotten about you. So all we're going to do is just hit the corners with this blue. And we're not even going to hit all the corners. We're going to pick our spots. nice. It'll help just help pick out some of the details. Where we're gonna go a little crazier is when we get to the head. Oh, you know what? I never even did the hands, but that's okay. We're gonna go back and we're gonna use this brush to do the hands. Probably also going to use this brush to do the eyes too. Nice and small. Gets into all the nook and cranny places. Oh, finicky highlighting. Yay for finicky highlighting. Now, we are going a little bit over time here, and the reason is because, well, we're going to try and finish Prime. Or at least finish the majority of them. So we're going to go a little over today, I think. You guys will be happy with that. Yeah? Alright. Now let's clean up the brush a little bit. Get right in there with the eyes. Go. Looks good. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm going to keep working on them. Because we're practically finished. It's just a few extra highlights. But he's not quite finished. And I've taken up enough of your time today. So there we are. One leader of the Autobots. Yeah, there we go. Yay! I think he looks pretty cool. You know, we still have to highlight the gun. The highlight, you know, do a little bit of work on the eyes and finish the windows the way I want to. You know, I probably have enough to do another segment, but we'll see how that goes. So What I want everybody to do out there, though, is stay healthy, stay safe, listen to what everybody has to say. Stay inside, stay home if you can. I know I do. I only go out when I absolutely have to, for the essentials like groceries and stuff like that. But please, please stay home and let's flatten the curve, okay? So until next time, stay safe, paint safe, and we'll see you in the workshop.